Welcome everybody to Lone Lab Podcast, episode 5. We are on site in Cancun. What resort are we at, boys?
Dreams.
Dreams.
Viva la Mexico.
Viva la Mexico. Very special episode here. We wanted to go international with the Lone Lab Podcast.
Lone Lab is international now, guys.
We have the best guest of all time,
Best host.
Mr. Gabrione in Cancun, and the man, the myth, the legend, my boy, Mr. Weber. Boys,
Let's go, man.
Let's go.
rough night last night, but we are here. We are working on vacation.
Night one was fun.
We were working on vacation. So we got in last night. Joe's been here since Monday.
Here all week.
All week. Mr. Weber and I had a little bit of a rough flight in yesterday, a lot of turbulence, but we did make it.
My wife said it was the worst flight she's ever been on.
It was not fun. I was white knuckling all of the handrails next to me. People were not happy with me. I was scared yesterday, but we made it, boys. We're here. We're blessed to be with you guys. Thank you for being here with us on episode 5. Fellas, we hit 250 plus downloads on Apple, Spotify.
That's what happens.
All those,
bring on a new host.
A good host, huh?
Thank you, Joe. Yes. Joe has brought all those downloads on, but we just want to thank everybody for the support, for the love. We appreciate it, and we're happy to be here with you in Cancun. Now, we are here on the Leaders Club Summit.
Thank you, sir.
And that is for top producers within LeaderOne. Thank you, LeaderOne, for putting this together for us, for Joe putting this together for us. We are in a villa that Joe actually rented out for all of his group here today, so we're going to have some fun here after.
We'll give you guys a view of the beach, too. We'll flip the camera.
Yeah.
We've got some pretty cool views going on right now.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But we are going to have a full episode today. We got some really, really special guests and some fun topics. But let's get into some segments first.
Segments, baby.
Segments. So let's do mortgage rates in a minute. Boys, I mean, what the hell is going on with rates?
It feels like COVID times, man. We've got the president tweeting and speaking and manipulating the market in a way that we haven't seen since probably 2021. March of 2020, it almost feels like, right?
Yeah,
The uncertainty is insane.
Well, an example of yesterday, we wake up in the morning, the market, is up 40 basis points.
We're no longer firing Jerome Powell.
Yeah. Market's kind of, market's rallying, Dow's up, S&P's up, everything looks good. Sounds like President Trump wants to start negotiating as it relates to tariffs, and the market likes that, right? The less volatility. By the end of the day, we lost all the gains and we were flat. It's still whipsawing, it's still super volatile. My advice is lock them if you got them, right? Like if your client likes it, if the payment makes sense and it works, just lock it, right?
You can't afford to lose right now.
No. Because the market's whipsawing 50 basis points here and there. That's the difference between an eighth of a point in interest rate, right? And so my advice is lock them if it makes sense right now. Obviously, longer term, 60-day closes, things like that. I think you can have the ability to float and you can watch the market a little bit. But anything closed in 30 days or less right now, just lock it.
That's the difference between the refi and the purchase. I think we have talked about this on episode 2. You're contractually obligated to perform.
Yes.
You can't be floating anything underneath a 30-day closing right now. You need to be able to build that trust, which is done. If you're good like we are beforehand, locking the rate, man, like that's not a sell right now. No. It's not. It's let's get this done and make sure that you close on your house.
Getting into the home. Right? Like floating that and shopping rates around. I even had a client doing it with me. They shopped the rate, they were looking for better interest rates, and then the next day it's gone. They go up way higher, and that rate that you were trying to shop is gone, and you just missed out. So it's super volatile. Again, we keep saying the same
Too
words.
volatile to gamble. We're not professional gamblers.
No.
Right?
Well, some of us. No.
I like that, James. It's too volatile to gamble, no doubt about it. Just a headline from CNBC: weekly mortgage demand plunges nearly 13% as interest rates hit 2-month high. Now, this was last week. Okay, and they published this on April 23rd, but this is in regards to last week. The weekly mortgage demand plunged 13%. Interest rates hit a 2-month high, but then we went right back down within a week span where we weren't hitting that 2-month high.
I was going to say that the headline the week before that was 2-month low.
Yeah.
That's how volatile
That's how crazy it is. From a 2-month high to a 2-month low, right?
In a matter of days.
It's crazy.
For our what's the rate out there, people, the people who are asking what the interest rate is. So average contract interest rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage with a conforming loan amount. Remember, everybody, that means it's below $806,500. That's what conforming means. It increased to 6.9% as of last week from 6.81%. Now, that's the average rate. And you guys, if you're out there there researching average rates. There's a lot that goes into these average rates that people are getting. I like how CNBC put this on here. They mentioned that with those rates, there's about a half a point buy down to be able to get that
Freddie
rate.
Mac. A lot of people go to the Freddie Mac, what's your average rate? That's always built in with a half a point. A half a point, guys, is 0.5% of the loan amount as a charge to you as the client.
Yeah, I think that's super important because especially when you're out there as a consumer shopping around looking at people's advertising their rates, right? Make sure and read the fine print, right? Because a lot of people, a lot of mortgage companies, they have a tactic of showing a lower rate, right? And then the fine print is, well, this comes with a buy down, a discount point. What does that mean? You have to actually pay to get that interest rate lower.
Right.
Pay extra.
You're paying a premium to get that lower rate.
Yes, exactly right. So
And they'll market those. They'll market those interest rates, and they include an APR as well too. And the APR, APR.
It's the cost of financing.
The cost of financing is that's very simple, as Mr. Weber put it. The APR will be attached to that interest rate, and it might not look that much higher from an APR standpoint. But there's costs involved with that.
Sure.
$2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever that buy down point is, you're paying to get those advertised interest rates. So, guys, again, up and down, it's volatile.
Super bad.
I think what we got from this was it's too volatile to gamble.
Lock 'em
on
while you
interest
got 'em.
rates. Lock them while you got them, and stay the course, everybody out there. Again, we're still hovering below that 7% into low 7%. So it's not like anything crazy has happened on an up or down standpoint, and we'll keep you guys updated on everything that's going on.
Yeah, and I think I'll end the segment with the fact that I think it's kind of funny that our boy Trump is coming on tweeting, going on the air, basically demanding rate cuts from Jerome Powell, and basically saying like he might try to use his authority, which he doesn't have any, to remove him from office, which isn't allowed.
No.
But then he changes his stance
Then he
yesterday.
backs off
It
it
says he's backing Powell again.
Right.
I mean, this is the same guy he put into
his guy.
as the Fed chair.
Right.
So. The market's moving on every word that comes out, every tweet that comes out. So, like we said, stay the course. I think this is all noise right now, right? And I think that we'll see where the market truly is here in the coming weeks and in coming months. And I think it's going to settle down. I think the rates are going to be trickling lower as we head into the latter part of this year.
What are you thinking? Like third, fourth quarter, like a little more after everything,
well,
after the dust settles?
I think we need to figure out where the tariff negotiations are going to settle.
Sure.
I think we're going to have a big winter, man.
I do too.
I think we're going to have a big winter.
I do too. I think we're going to see lower rates heading into the third and fourth quarter, and at least just some stability, right? The whipsawing effect is what kind of gets people out of
the stagnant market that we've been begging for the better part of 2 years now. Let's just get there. We can't have things plummet. That's not good for us. We talked about it last time.
And it
We
won't.
want rates to steadily come down.
Like you said, the
slowly.
trickle effect. That'd be perfect.
That would be absolutely perfect.
Awesome. Well, we'll keep you guys updated again. Super volatile, but you guys know you can come to us for everything, and everything rate included with the rate whisperer, the best guest of all time, Mr. Gabrione.
The host.
All right, boys, let's do some the hostess with the mostest. Let's do some lab tested questions. Please continue to submit your questions to us. We love this segment. This is probably, I say this every time, this is my favorite segment because we get to talk to the people and answer your guys' questions. So we have two this time, guys. The first one, this is from my boy, Stevie Thomas, from Boylan Catholic High School. This is my guy. Thank you, Steve, for submitting this. So Steve was asking, what's the differences between soft credit pulls and hard credit pulls, and then the reasons behind those. So he was saying he heard that soft pulls don't affect your credit, but Steve's skeptical of that. He was asking us, hey, what's the difference between soft credit pulls and hard credit pulls, and then what are the reasonings behind the two types of credit pulls on a specific consumer's credit?
I think today's day and age, the biggest, let's say, red mark associated with a hard credit pull is that the credit bureaus still sell people's contact information, which right now is so incredibly crucial because, like we just talked about, people are out there shopping. Your client gets their credit pulled and they get 30 calls in one day. It makes it really tough to still hold that trust and that value through the transaction. Hey, Jimmy, I've gotten 40 calls this morning. This guy says he can do better. What's up with that? We want to avoid that, right? That's the essence of the soft credit pull, which is something that we've recently implemented at L1.
Does the soft pull affect your credit?
No.
Now, does a hard pull affect your credit? It comes up as an inquiry on your credit.
Right. There's some sort of crazy connotation that it goes 10, 20, 30 points against your score. Maybe it did at one point, But those days are gone.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of times what it is, it's like when people are out there shopping for an auto loan, right?
Yeah.
What hurts your credit score the most is when you are allowing multiple vendors, right?
see
Or
into
multiple. You go shop for a car and you stop at 3 or 4 different agencies and you let them all pull your credit within that 24-hour period. That looks like you're trying to open up massive amounts of debt at multiple places. So
Buying 5 cars at once.
Yeah, exactly. You're the instant result from that is a quick drop in your score, but it doesn't last, right?
No.
It's
like taking a Band-Aid off.
Yeah, exactly. And they come off after 120 days.
Yep,
So,
yep.
You know,
And you can, so you can get pre-approved for specific loan programs, because I think Steve was asking what's the reasons behind both, right? Between a soft and a hard. So for conventional loan, you can actually get pre-approved. We can run all the automated underwriting systems, which is basically just a computer taking your data as a client and spitting data back out to us as lenders saying, hey, these guys, green or red light. So my point to that is this, is a soft pull is allowed for conventional loans to get somebody pre-approved for that loan program.
Govy now too, actually.
And Govy is starting to. So Govy, we're talking about our FHA loans. I don't know if VA allows on the soft pull.
The VA will run. Finance will run.
So, and then, but in sometimes you do need a hard credit pull for those other specific programs as well, too.
Sometimes you need to see 3 scores. When we put through our soft credit report, we see 2 scores.
It's a good point, Jimmy.
We're at a point where we're looking at like a sub 600 score and the other one's 680. We need to see what's in the middle there. It's really important for the client, not only for their interest rate, for us to gain the ability to approve that loan.
No doubt, no doubt. Don't sweat the small stuff, guys, when it comes to credit and getting your credit pulled for a mortgage.
Yeah, those are intricacies. Right? That's what we do. You guys don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and you know, the hard inquiry will affect your credit, but guess what? And not affect it in a terrible way. We're talking a couple points. It comes up as a hard inquiry. You cannot get a damn mortgage without a credit pull. So don't sweat it. But I think when you are kind of starting the process and you're a little worried about credit or whatever it might be, it's nice that we have the ability to do the soft pulls now and take a look at it.
Also allows us to help you repair too. We can use our tools and our simulators to make sure that you do have that sub 600 score, that you're up at 620, up at 640 by the time that you're actually ready to get the hard pull through and go out home shopping.
Yeah, and I think that at the end of the day, if you're out shopping around, right, and you're trying to talk to multiple lenders, which is great, that's actually good advice.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Like, I wouldn't go just to talk to the first person if I'm buying a car or buying and making a big purchase and just immediately going with the one person, right? So, but if you're doing that, that's where the soft pull, I think, is at your advantage, right? You're not getting multiple hard pulls, hard hits on your credit, which would have an instant effect, right? Not long lasting, but it would be an instant effect.
Sure.
If you're shopping around, have some people use the soft pull, right? If people can't do soft, I probably would advise not to work with that person, right? Soft pull is kind of what people do nowadays. Prior to doing a hard pull, get pre-approved with a soft pull.
But would you agree? I think you're going this way, that you shop on the soft pull and not the hard.
100%.
When you're getting your hard pull, you're committed to not only that relationship but that home, because in that case you're under contract. You're ready to roll.
Usually that hard pull is happening, right? What would you guys say? Once you guys get the contract,
sometimes
when I'm good to lock.
When you're going to lock an interest rate in, that's when we have our system set up,
which
to
is
pull
crazy. I mean, this is like where the mortgage industry has come, right? Like, I mean, I would 10 years ago, right? Like, if someone calls in, like, you're doing a hard pull. Like, soft pulls didn't even necessarily exist for mortgage lenders, and maybe they did, but they were never talked about, right? So it's cool to see where we've come, and like you said, going back to what you guys mentioned, trigger leads, right? Like, that's just the new normal. The credit agencies are making millions and millions of dollars every year reselling all of our information, right? This isn't what they do. They resell it to hundreds of different lenders, very cheap, right? People are paying $1, $2 for trigger leads. The problem is
they're crappy leads.
They're crappy leads, and there's too many of these companies buying them, thus creating, you get your credit pulled in 40 phone calls, right? Because they're reselling that information to so many vendors out there. So just be careful.
It's a dishonest play, man. I always refer to these people as vultures.
They are. They are.
Kind of like they're in the air looking around. Like
they're basically they're trying to pick off people who are already thinking about working with somebody else, and they're being notified, triggered to now call you because they know you just had your credit ding.
Yeah,
it's a little scary for consumers, because they're like, consumers are like, wait, I just got my credit pulled, and now I have all these people calling me. Like, do they know my social?
It's not the social. It's contact info. It's email and phone number.
Yeah,
and it's what reports on the credit report. So It could be your office line gets a bunch of calls. It could be
without a
your
doubt.
cell. It's whatever's reporting to that associated with your name.
Great question,
Great
Stevie
question.
Thomas, my boy. We appreciate you. Yeah, so that's it's something that people always ask about. Hard pull, credit pulls in general are just very interesting, and we want to inform everybody, the consumer. So that was a great question. What's up, guys? We're recording.
What's up?
What's up?
On that podcast, don't be. You're good.
You're good. That's
You're
what
fine.
we're doing.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I was going to reach over the bag.
No, you're good.
You're good.
I guess.
Daddy Larks is here.
Daddy Larks.
Daddy Large.
Daddy Larks. Yeah, we got a bunch of different LOs here from LeaderOne. So this is an
The
awesome
top
trip that we're
25 with significant others. Then we've got some C-suite members here, some support ops people. It's pretty awesome.
There might be some people walking by with a couple beers and some drinks, and they'll just come in and pop in and say, "All right, salute, cheers."
So lab, episode 5.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
No.
Q3.
Let's get into our next question from Ray Chavez, one of the biggest Bears fans that we know.
What's up, baby?
So I'm gonna read off his questions. Ray asks, this is a loaded question, boys. What type of loan is best for a first-time home buyer, and what programs are available for first-time home buyers?
Wow.
Very loaded, open-ended question, and he ended with, "Go Bears! We're drafting Genty. Caleb is the best. Ben Johnson will win a Super Bowl." Ray.
Wow.
That's how he signed it off. So thank you, Ray, for the question. So what
I
type
love
of
that
loan?
sign off first off.
What type of loan is best for a first-time home buyer? What a question.
I mean, yeah, I could answer that 10 different ways. The answer to that question starts with how much money do you have saved for a down payment? I think that is gonna, right. That's gonna kind of
What's your goal for
guide us.
post-purchase liquidity as well?
Exactly. And I think that's going to guide us as originators into providing advice based on what is at your disposal, right? What kind of money do you have saved? And then, like you said, what liquidity do you want to have after you close
That's
on that
what we do,
transaction?
right? We give advice. The decision is ultimately with the clients. If you come to us saying, I want to put 3% down, I'm a first-time home buyer, I love the idea of putting down 3%, but then ultimately you put down 20, again, we give you those options. That's what we do every
Without a
single
doubt.
day. I'm going to show you the difference between a 3% down payment and a 10% down payment, not only with that cash to close, but you might be surprised at that monthly payment not being, that delta not being as large as someone, it's a mind-blowing effect, truly. When we send a total cost analysis and you're looking at a 3% down payment, like, wow, it's only $200 more, but I can save $20,000 at the closing table.
I would say first
That's a
time,
needle mover.
I mean, first-time home buyers, at least from what I'm seeing, is a lot of the, I guess you would call it issue or pain point is what you're kind of just talking about, is they don't have, we don't have as first-time home buyers a lot of cash assets as you're starting your careers, as you're starting families. Like that takes time to build up, right? So I would say
Dude,
to
there's
answer
100%
that.
financing
Yes.
products out there, right?
Like
for
the-
people just like
for
that. You got an
first-time
800
home
credit
buyers-
score and you've got income, but you don't have any assets. You can still be helped. It doesn't make sense. That's what we need to dig into.
First-time home buyers with not as much liquidity that they want in the bank, you need to go with the lowest down payment program available, with probably some down payment assistance as well
right.
too, to
And
help
I'm
you
not
out.
a huge fan of the down payment assistance, but because a lot of times, right, and do your homework, if you're out there shopping for loans or shopping for a home, the down payment assistance typically comes in the form of a second lien.
Right.
And what does that mean? There's a first mortgage, which is going to be the majority of your balance, right? So if you're buying a $150,000 home and you're trying to finance 97% of that, but you actually are now getting down payment assistance in the form of a 3% lien. So you're going to get 100% financing.
You really don't have equity in your house.
You don't have any equity in your home, but now we're in an appreciating market, so that's great. But
Right.
to me, where you got to really be careful is most of the times you can no longer refi that mortgage, that first lien, with that down payment second.
You gotta pay it
right?
back.
Yes, you would have to pay off that second mortgage first. So in a higher interest rate market, you're almost going to be stuck in that loan until you either. Some of them have some criteria where you be in the loan for 3 years, 5 years, right? Every
But it's forgiven
bond
or-
loan that is a little bit different, right? We have multiple down payment assistance options out there for people. But if you have 3% down, right, or if you're a veteran and you can get 100% financing, I would pursue looking at non-down payment assistance options first, only because you then don't have a second lien on your title, which is going to handcuff you in the future in a decreasing rate environment.
I love where you're going with that, right? Because in this market, it's really tough to do this. But a couple of years ago, same thing, a 3% down payment person comes in. Then we also get a $10,000 credit from the seller, right? You might
Exactly.
be, I just had 2 closings last week where they both got money back at the closing.
At the closing,
after
yeah.
their earnest money.
Oh, yeah.
That happens. It's still happening,
It
right?
does. It does.
Exactly. Try to to always, work with an agent that understands the market and try to get the sellers to contribute towards the closing cost of the loan. Let's get down payment assistance in the form of a seller credit, a lender credit, right? And now you're not having to have a second lien tied to your title. It's literally being paid for by the seller. And that is very common out there right now. I feel like that's happening a lot.
No, good point, man. And first-time home buyers, you've got your 10 boxes to check.
Yeah.
In today's market, you might check 3, right?
Yeah,
and you have to know that. This home is like a springboard to the next one. So yeah, I'm not going to be in a very competitive. You're not going to win against 10 other offers if you're the one putting 3% down.
Totally agree.
It's really tough. I can't say that you're not 100% going to win.
Yeah.
Work with the right people and everything, but it's really tough. So if you're a first-time home buyer and you're really trying to make sure that you're building wealth through real estate, that first home is just that. It's the first home.
Exactly.
Let that be the gold mine that springboards you into that second home.
Without a doubt. Yeah, so Chavez and everybody who's listening, it's a great question. It's just, and we always go back to this.
What did we just even say? What was our answer?
Go Bears.
It's very situational, right? We did. I mean, there's no one. I think that's the crux of it, right? Is it's so there's so many programs out there for first-time homebuyers that it needs to be specific to you and your goals and what's important to you.
That's why a consultation call is the first thing that we always recommend.
Dreams and goals, baby.
Yep.
Like that.
Once again, don't just get damn pre-approval letters from lenders and then never hear from them again.
Because it is like a crust.
It's ridiculous.
Piece of paper. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
It needs to mean more.
So when you strategize and you kind of figure out what your goals are, there's plenty of different programs to place you in as a client, as a first-time homebuyer, but it's really just dependent on what those financial goals are.
The preparation is, we call it, 30% of the work, the pre-work of the whole process. It's so important to work with the right people because of that.
Absolutely.
We're preparing you not only to get a home and a loan, but to be a successful homeowner.
Without a doubt. So great question, Ray. Chavez and Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Lab-tested questions. Again, one of our favorite segments on the episode. So continue to send those in. We appreciate all you guys. So we are now going to bring on some very special guests here in Cancun. And then
Are these more special guests than Joe?
I don't know. He's the best guest. He's the best guest of all time. We're going to have some guests on, and then at the end of the show, we are going to give our draft picks for the Bears draft pick tonight. We are going to pick them. We'll be right back with our special guests.
Let's go. Welcome back, guys. We've got a pretty special segment for you here.
Wow. Here we go.
This is Housewives edition of the Lone Lab podcast.
Welcome, ladies.
How do you guys feel right now?
I mean, we're the most important guest you have.
The number one guest. So we have
Joe.
our wives,
Absolutely.
Sydney and Lauren. Welcome to the Lone Lab podcast. How are we doing today?
We're feeling great.
You're looking great. You guys are looking great because we are in
Cheers.
Cancun, like we had said earlier at the beginning of the episode. This is the top producers trip. We are very grateful to be here, but we would not be here without these two ladies.
The gals.
So we wanted to bring them on. It's a blessing that they're here with us. They put up with a lot of our shit. Put up a lot of
A decade plus worth of shit.
a decade plus worth
a lot
of
of
shit.
shit.
There's ups, there's downs, and we wanted to just bring them on and kind of talk to them about what it's like being married to the two Jimmys in this crazy industry. I mean,
They're
if you
third
guys,
party to the BS of the mortgage industry. Firsthand, but not having to do all the BS that we do all the time.
We just have to hear about it.
Yes.
yeah, if you guys would, if you could explain like what it's like married to us within this industry, or just kind of dealing with our mood swings or whatever it is. I mean, do you have words that you can explain? Would there be like some sort of term that you would use? I think you guys were talking about it last night. It's a ride, a roller
I would say
coaster.
roller coaster. That's the best way I could explain it.
Yeah, a lot of up and downs. Like one day I feel like it can be so great, and Jimmy's like, "Let's go to Gibson's Italia and get a steak." Like I had such a good day. And then the next day he's like
That what it sounds
tossing
like?
his phone against the wall, like, "It's over.
Yeah.
We can't do this."
We're losing the house.
So, that's fun.
It's definitely a lot of ups and downs, and it's nice to have you guys here to kind of be our rock and our support, because we do need that, and it's super stressful for us. I mean, we've gone through it, right, of buying a house or selling a house, and we know how like stressful that is, and we kind of take that onus on from our clients as well too, because it's so important. So
Buying and selling a home is tougher than what I do day to day. And to kind of be in those shoes for our clients, it's a different introspective as to how this goes, right? It's tough to put into words how much it sucks putting your house together for a showing.
Yeah, oh my
And
goodness.
cleaning, getting the dog out of the house.
Yeah.
We got a 19-month-old baby who is awesome, but she's also a little shithead sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's talk about that because we're going through it. We just went through it, both of us.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, even us just going through it, like you were stressed. And I was like, wait, you do this every day. Like you tell people to relax, but
That's
it's
the human
still
element.
different. Like when you're in it, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And we both bought houses, we're buying houses, and going through the showings, like we had talked about that. And I don't know if you guys want to add. I mean, remember cleaning the houses for like showings for our
My
own
God.
house?
middle of the
and-
day, on a Tuesday, we're both in the office. We gotta get the dog out with our neighbors across the street. Like,
Who
it's
can host us?
intricacies.
We come over.
Yeah.
For hours.
And then on the days that we didn't have showings, I was like, destroy the house. We don't have to clean today. Don't clean up.
I was like,
Let's make a
pretend we
month.
don't live here. 'Cause I don't want to do that again.
Right.
Actually.
yeah.
Do you guys have any sort of like funny stories that you hear us on Zoom calls or like any weekends where we were on the phone too much? Or I think you just mentioned one. I mean, Jimmy throwing his phone at
That hasn't happened in years.
But it's happening.
We're not gonna lie.
Anything that comes to mind for you guys, any funny stories or anything that just pops up when you think of us being in the mortgage industry in general, or no?
I guess I don't have any funny stories, but for me, it's like when you're trying to work at home and our girls are running in and out of the room, and you're like, keep down. I'm just like, I don't know, like you're at home doing this, so I don't know. I think it's just like you trying to do with the kids screaming in the background. It's just very real, and
Laura and I battle with that all the time. She's like, why can't you work from home?
Staci Ann, get in here. Staci Ann, get in. Get in here. We are live right now. We are live right now. This is Staci Ann. She's the best.
She's the GOAT.
She's the GOAT.
Staci Ann, push this all together.
Thank you, Staci Ann, for putting it all together. Staci Ann,
Thank you.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell everybody, like, how'd you start with LeaderOne? When did you
How
start
did
with
I
us?
start with LeaderOne? That's a good one. I've been here almost 6 years now, and I started. Thank you. Am I talking to this?
Yep.
Oh, excellent. I guess so. It's not important here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Started LeaderOne 6 years ago, all because of a connection I had. I was working with a former lender
It's all about.
and was with that company for about 8 years, and there were changes, structure changes. Sometimes that happens. And I became available all of a sudden. And LeaderOne,
Unexpectedly.
yeah. There was a contact here at LeaderOne that saw what was going on and asked my former boss, hey, I need your resume. And the rest is history.
Amazing.
LeaderOne scooped me right up.
I love it. Staci Ann does so much for the company. We love you.
Thanks.
The
Yeah,
Lending
Jimmy
a
raves
Hand
about you.
Foundation.
Oh, goodness. Thank you.
The
The
Lending a Hand Foundation.
Yes.
We're committee. I was on the committee. I'm an ambassador for the
Yes.
Lending a Hand Foundation. Lending a Hand Foundation. Jimmy donates to the Lending a Hand Foundation.
Yep.
We all do. It's a
That's
very
why. Yep.
cool foundation and cause that we create funds to those who need it to pay their mortgage or their rent, who have come under some unforeseen circumstances.
It's meant to be.
Like
It's
just,
meant to be.
life is life, right? Like life has its ups, life has its downs, and sometimes you get one of those moments and you're like, oh my gosh, this just happened to me and my family. How am I gonna afford my rent next month?
Yeah.
Because your priorities have to switch very quickly. And
The housing
you're
payment is the biggest payment that you make, right? So if you can't make that payment,
That's
need some help,
stressful.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's
it's
what the
amazing
foundation
that
does.
it's amazing that LeaderOne like has that. I mean, our previous companies never had a foundation like that, and it's just something
It's
that
nice that you guys do that so people can focus on what's going on in their life, and that you guys help with the bills so they can be present. For
without a
that.
doubt, without a doubt. Yeah,
That's
we
that's
see some very sad stories and make some very hard decisions on granting funds, but it's a good thing in general, and it's amazing that LeaderOne does that. Like seriously.
LeaderOne as a company, our culture as a company, we are very family forward. We are very much about partnerships, especially partnerships in our community. And this is just another way for us to extend into the community by taking care of our people, right? Like, and I don't just mean our people that are employees of LeaderOne, but our real estate partners, any of our partners, the community members, that live in the surrounding areas. Like, we're a national company with a big footprint, so we get to help others, and that's just, to me, like, that really speaks to my heart. Jimmy has mentioned that he's been on the grant and funding committee, and now he is an ambassador, and like, you're just amazing to have you, and everybody, all the ambassadors, like, our ambassadors are our people in LeaderOne that are within the division that are really just kind of educating our internal employees on what the foundation does. And just we like to give everybody like a big hug, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, LeaderOne's hugging the community is kind of how I like to look at it.
It's amazing. Well, we said we were going to have cameos on this podcast, and what a cameo this is.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for putting all this together. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We appreciate it. Again, awesome cameo. Staci Ann's the best. She's one of the best. All right, Waz. I think we should do. Let's do a couple of mortgage terms. Let's ask you these mortgage terms, and you have to give an answer. You can't not give an answer. Let's start with an easy one.
Why are you trying to embarrass us?
No. Let's just, hey,
Because we're in the game.
you're in the game. Let's start with an easy one. How about DTI? Have to give an answer.
Debt to industry.
Close. It's close.
Debt.
Debt to income. Let's go.
Relax.
I was thinking.
Similar to DT. I'm just kidding.
We hear you guys talk about this a lot.
What about LTV?
Lost
Volume.
It's not a bad guess.
Yeah.
It's not. It's loan to value. Have you ever heard it say loan to value?
I mean, I hear you talk about this all day long, but I don't. I just.
So like a 100K loan that gets a 300K value. 33% loan to value. Right? There you go.
Why you do
Numbers.
All right, two more. What about earnest money? Do you know what earnest money is? We should know this.
Yeah.
So what is it?
All I know is you give that to them after.
Who's
you,
them?
To the bank.
Buyers.
This is awesome.
To the sellers.
To the sellers,
You
yes.
give it to them like, hey, here's a little extra.
It's a good faith deposit.
Yeah, and then I was so concerned that we didn't get that money back. I was like, oh my God, we just lost all that money.
Let's
But
talk
then
about
It goes towards your bottom line.
It goes towards your actual down payment. So it's almost like earnest money. Hey, like I'm giving you this. We're serious about buying the house. We
So
know
then
we
you're
haven't
for
bought it yet, but we know you're for real.
Okay.
Think about going to buy a Louis V bag, right?
Love it.
And let's say it's $1,000. You just pay that $1,000 with a credit card, right? Because that's the collateral. You don't have to say, all right, here's $200 just to show that you good faith, because it's $1,000. Now multiply that by 10, it's $1 million home. If you're a buyer of a home going to buy that type of real estate, that even $100,000 home, right?
Don't matter,
You
yeah.
have to show
That you're
good
good for
faith.
it.
Yes.
Here's a earnest money deposit. Here's me showing our cards basically that we can do this.
What is that? Hey, you're live on the pod. Come over here, Vinny. Come over here. Come on. Hey, we'll start. Come over here. All right, we told you cameos are going to be happening in this episode, and we have the man, the myth, the legend, my
Our boy Vinny up.
fucking paisan, Vinny. Vinny, what's going on? Welcome to the Low Lab
We got the
Podcast,
low
baby.
lab right now.
Yes,
Here we
podcast,
go.
we're live.
I've seen it.
Hey, how are we feeling today?
How we feeling? Well, I'm 2 mimosas in. Gonna feel even better pretty soon.
Vinny, kind of plug yourself, where you're from, where you do business at. Kind of give us just a little bit of a background of you, or give the viewers a
Yeah,
little bit
great
of a
stuff.
background.
So I'm based out of South Florida, about an hour and a half north of Miami, golf capital of the world, Jupiter, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
We miss it. Was doing for a little while the Truth Back End Mortgage down in South Florida as well, 900 AM and 95.9 FM.
Oh,
as
no
well.
way.
We just changed it up and recently called it the Mortgage Mashup. So we're doing a small little thing down there, but hearing great things about the loan lab as well, about the two Jimmys.
All right, so hopefully we got all of that segment with Vinny and his wife.
Yeah,
and if
it
we
was
didn't
great.
get all of it, we're gonna have a
We're on
majority
vacation,
of it.
guys. Remember
I know,
that, you know?
and we're rookie
And we're still
podcasters.
rookies.
We got 2 mimosas.
We got 2 mimosas. I've had a couple Dos Equis. Ladies, anything else to
Yeah, let's
end
tie it
off our
together.
segment?
Sorry.
So I just feel like even though there's like a lot of these like ups and downs, and you know when you're home with the kids and I'm tired, I want to break, and you're doing pre-approvals and answering the phones. It is like it's hard, but then we also do have like flexibility where you know when I'm at work, you can pick the girls up and
No
be
doubt.
with them in the evenings and answer
Can't-
calls still.
You
and be
can't
on your
trade that,
computer.
you know?
Yeah,
That's so important.
absolutely.
And I was just saying before we kind of cut out, it's like, as Vinny was talking, you know, it makes you realize, like, yes, we're talking about the roller coasters and the ups and downs,
Yeah.
but we're actually very blessed and grateful to have that
So lucky.
flexibility to go pick up the kids or drop them off at daycare. I call you, bro, like sometimes, and like you're like, I'm gonna walk with Julie, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, that is
Yeah.
like awesome.
Yeah.
Like we can still kind of work
go on walks with our kids.
But that's
and,
the
like,
funny part, right? I'm pushing the stroller and talking to a client, talking to a colleague. Like,
Right.
I can do that stuff.
You know
Yeah.
what though? It's better than not being able to do that sitting in an office. You know what I mean?
And you don't miss anything. Like Timmy, I laugh. He's like the only dad at the Halloween party for Ronnie. Like,
That's awesome.
He's, it's cool 'cause
that's
he
so
can do
sweet.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that with all jobs.
Oh.
Yeah. I am stuck to a chair 9 to 5. I cannot
Corporate
live.
America.
Yeah, it's classic corporate America. It's so different, and I don't have that kind of flexibility, and I'm jealous of it. So even
Sure.
though it is
No, Laura gets
hard
mad
at
at me.
times-
She's like, "You're golfing again?" I'm like,
Oh, don't get me
out
off.
clients.
We could do a whole segment on golf.
Golf talk.
So that
So
is
no, and
done.
Lauren, you have that right, but then can you go home and just unplug
Yes.
after, right? So
Yeah.
like it's that
It's
give
the,
and
that's
take.
the trade-off.
It's
right
the
there.
trade-off for
It
sure.
is.
But, and Vinny was kind of speaking to this, and I didn't want to interrupt him, but like, the always available mantra is not something that we live by.
Yeah.
I want to be sought after,
Yeah.
right? I don't want to be the guy that you can call at 10 p.m. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes that happens, but that's not it, you know? Like, that's not why we do what we do.
Yeah.
I'm with my family at that time.
I know.
I'm sleeping by 10 p.m. now. I'm old.
The classic for us is like we're at the dinner table and Jimmy's on his phone. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm with work," you know. Like, and I'm like, "Well, okay, like I can't get
Lauren's
mad
like, phone's
because it's
away, we're
work."
watching Bravo. I'm not watching this.
But I
Well,
feel like
no,
I can't get mad because
The
it's
cool
fun.
thing too is like the calling at 10 o'clock or even at dinner. I think you could testify to this as well. Is like if I tell my clients, I'm like, dude, I'm
Set
with my kids,
expectations.
bro.
Yeah,
Like,
you do.
can I call you back later? And they're like, of course. And like, you
Yeah.
have that human
Yeah.
element with these people, and it's like, hey, is it an emergency?
But
I'm
also
with
with
my
us
kids.
buying these houses, we see how cutthroat it is. Like
Yeah.
I know, like when someone needs a pre-approval, I'm like, get them the pre-approval. Like I don't want them to lose the house.
Because
sure.
you just went through it.
Yeah, like I know, like you have to get it out there. So I do see that too.
Well, we love you guys so much, and thank you guys.
Thanks for being on. I love the day.
Yeah, did you have fun?
Yeah.
Good.
We're all nervous.
Yeah. I think we killed it.
We did.
Well, thank you to the Real
Housewives.
Housewives of the Lone Lab
And then you
podcast.
get perks like this. We're in Mexico.
There
Yeah.
you go.
This ain't bad, right?
It's not too bad. We can survive it.
We are going to end the podcast with our picks for the Bears draft
Bears
tonight.
draft.
It's a huge night,
Oh
so
my God.
we'll be right back with those picks.
All right, everybody. So what an awesome
What a
segment
great
with the
fucking
wives
show.
on there. We had a
should
couple
do every episode.
cameos.
Oh my
I know.
god, we might have to fly out once a week for this.
Dude, so fun and
That's where
grateful
we'll
to be
live
here.
going.
Definitely. Awesome segment with the wives. We had Vinny pop in. I hope we got all that. I think we did, and if
Yeah.
not, we're gonna cook it up a little bit. We had Staci Ann on, who is just amazing at LeaderOne.
Planned
and
this
does
entire
amazing
trip
things.
for
She
us.
planned the whole trip, so we wouldn't be here
Months
without
and months
her.
of time to put this together.
I
Does
could
a
never
great
do
job.
that.
No.
I know that.
Couple great lab tested questions and
Great
more within a
questions.
minute.
Great
And we
questions.
are in damn Cancun, boys. So we are blessed.
Cancun.
Good shit.
I want to take a
Tied
minute
together
though. I want to take a minute and congratulate both of you boys.
Thank
right?
you.
Both
Mr.
so
Gabrione.
this trip is based on basically the top 25 loan officers, producers, managers in our company to recognize their efforts and their achievements in 2024. The company couldn't be where we are today without these guys. Our division, right, couldn't be where we are today without these guys. They absolutely crush it. They educate. They come and show up every single day for their clients, for the people that they work with. So congrats to you two, man.
Thank
like
you, brother.
seriously, cheers to you guys.
Salute.
That's
I
what
got
this
a
trip's all
empty
about.
one. Salute,
So,
salute.
Thank you guys for everything. Honestly,
can't thank you enough.
dude.
Wouldn't
but-
be here without you, bro.
well, I
Yeah.
appreciate that, but this week's all about you guys and just a small recognition and token of our gratification for what you guys did all year last year. And what's crazy is looking at your guys is what you've done already in the first quarter this year. Like you guys are gonna blow out your numbers from last year. So you guys are crushing it. Congrats to these two gentlemen.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
They keep
Thanks,
bringing
man.
it every single day, and they are some of the brightest and best in the industry. So cheers, boys.
Thank you,
Hell
brother.
yeah.
Cheers to
Hell
you.
yeah.
And hell yeah, we love that. That means a lot to Joe, or from Joe. And like we said, we wouldn't be here without you, man. So we love you.
Hell yeah, boys.
And we're podcasting in Cancun,
We are.
fellas.
And I'm the
Let's
best
go.
host of all time.
So we love you guys. Thank you. We are
Joe's
going
the host
to
now.
best guest of all time. We love you. We thank you. Keep subscribing. Keep downloading. Keep listening. Please keep giving us the love.
Guys, let's get to what's important. We're talking about the Bears.
End
The
this.
Bears.
We're gonna end this episode. Today is a huge freaking day. It is draft day,
Draft day,
gentlemen.
baby. Let's
It is
go. In
draft day.
Mexico, it's
What's
draft
the date
day.
today? I don't even know
It
the
is
date
April
today.
24th.
It's April
Yes.
24th. It is draft day. It's a big pick for the Bears tonight. We have a top 10 pick. We have been talking about this since the season ended, and
Yep.
who they're going
We
to
three are
pick.
massive Bears fans. That's not
As you know,
Big Bears
as you know,
fans.
a very large set for us.
So let's kind of give our takes and insight on who we want and then maybe who we think the Bears are drafting. And we can have trades involved as well, too. There was some recent news that came out with some trades.
Lots of news popping.
Mr. Gabrione, you start us.
Yeah, lead us up.
You know, what popped on the feed this morning is the Bears are talking with the Patriots, potential trade up situation from 10 to 4. I believe that's if I'm trying to remember the name, the two guys the
Abdul
Patriots
Carter.
want. Right, if they're both off the board, Patriots are willing to trade up.
Abdul
trade
Carter
back.
and Travis Hunter.
Yes.
They're projected to go 2 and 3, right?
So they'll probably off the board. Which
Carter's
then,
gonna be a hell of a pro.
puts Ashton Gentry in play for the Bears, which is probably, at the end of the day, I think Ben Johnson is looking to create the players he wants in his offense, regardless of, your critics are going to say, well, you can get a really good running back in the 5th round in the NFL, that's true,
A bell
right?
cow
But you
on a
can't
rookie
get
contract.
a Saquon Barkley. You can't get these generational talents
What did I tell you guys
in the 5th
earlier?
round.
He better be Saquon.
Exactly.
If you're going to get him, he better be Saquon.
Exactly. And if you guys remember, Saquon actually tore his ACL.
Yeah,
year
dude,
two.
he's on a second team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he got good in like year 5.
Yes.
Right.
So do you think that trade's going to happen? Do you think it's a
lot.
Do you think it's a fourth
So
pick of the draft?
let's talk about it. We trade our 10th pick, we trade our 40th pick, and we trade a 2026 third round.
Right? I
So
think
is it worth it?
I think that compensation is actually really good value for the Bears, in my opinion. I really do. Now, is it worth it for a running back in that spot?
That's you have to go high level. If
Guys,
that
here's the
remains to
beauty
be
of it, though.
seen.
It's like every trade, it's like everything. Like nobody knows if it's worth it until 3, 5, 6 years from now, right? Bears win a Super Bowl, no one's gonna give a fuck what we
you
did,
kidding me?
right?
No
Like
one
that,
will
of
care.
course it's worth it.
There's
right?
just
So,
I'll stop doing mortgages of this.
you said it here first.
So with that trade comp, there's no extra first round attached to it, and I
Correct.
love that.
That's huge.
And I think when you're moving
No
up
first
into
is
the,
huge. That's a good
I
huge.
think when you're moving up into
Are
the
you talking
top
about future
5,
first?
there's no future first.
Nice.
It's it's this 10th pick, right?
Yeah,
It's
right.
our-
this year.
It's
But
our
I'm
10th
talking about a
and then
future
40th,
first, like
which is
getting into the top 5.
huge.
I think that trade comp is really, really good. Now, for a running back, though, it scares me a little bit.
This is
Agreed.
also a Ryan Pace move. I thought we were done with mortgage in the future.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's not as crazy as it like.
Yeah. All right. So who do you think that who's your?
I
Who do you think they're going to pick? Who do you want them to pick?
Gentry's not there at 10 though, right? Like
No,
I don't think he's there at 10.
I don't think so. I would love to see him as part of the Bears
he'd
offense.
be a hell of a
We are absolutely, oh my God, exciting, thrilling offense.
And
dude.
we're
We got-
young now.
And Ben's going to spread people out, so he's just going to be hitting gaps. And I don't know if you saw his stats at the combine. The guy is
He's
built
nasty.
like an absolute. He's built like a
just
tank.
like
a tank, dude.
Oh,
He's a
and
tank.
he's so fast.
He's a tank.
So
So
quick.
fast. So that's my pick. I would love to see that
Jetty?
happen. I
I
do
love
think
it.
the Bears need to beef up the offensive line, but if he's available on a trade up situation like that, I don't think you can pass it up because I think the offensive line depth in this draft is deep enough to where we can still pick up some offensive linemen later
You
on.
can get value.
And we have
later
7
on.
picks, right?
Yeah,
So,
we do.
I mean,
Yes, we do. Come on in. We got some
you guys, we are going to end
special
the
guest.
episode with a live shot
thank
to
you.
close things out. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Salute,
Live
salute.
from Mexico with
Salute.
David. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate
Can we
that.
agree,
Thank
guys, that Genty, like, that's the play. If we
Yeah.
can get
If
him,
I was gonna say,
Well, yeah,
my
give
number
us what
one
you
is
got.
Genty. I like trading up with that
Okay.
comp. I think that's okay. That's good with me. Now, is it gonna happen? I don't know. I've been saying Tyler Warren at 10.
I agree.
he can do everything.
I've been thinking that he's going to be there at 10. And before this news came out with the trade up, I was thinking that's pretty much the safe kind of bet for the
Yep.
Bears because he'll probably be there. I think if Genty, Will Campbell, Mason Graham,
Big
and
Campbell's
Tyler
gone
Warren are
too, though.
gone at 10, I think they're trading back, boys. I don't think
Wow,
they're
I like the,
staying
I
at
like
10.
the edge
like
from
that.
Georgia or
like
that
that.
tackle from Texas.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get in, trade back from 10, get some future picks, and then probably be within like the 15 to 20 range if all 4 of those guys
Which
are
makes
gone.
sense.
So listen,
Right?
dude,
Like-
it's college football and the NFL, very different styles of play. But
Yep.
I was at the Orange Bowl. I watched Tyler Warren, my Irish, beat up on Penn State. I
Yep.
watched Tyler Warren run for a touchdown, throw for a touchdown. This kid does everything, and he's like 6'5" at a tight end. Like that. I love Komet, Golden Domer, another Notre Dame guy. We need something else that's
For
just
sure.
dynamic, and this Tyler Warren's so dynamic. So is Genty.
Yep.
That like the next like fire plug for Caleb, Rome, DJ.
Yeah. I mean,
Enter
the
this
offense
next
is definitely
spark
going to be
plug.
scary. I still believe, though, like every good quarterback in the NFL, we just need to make sure we find some guys that can protect this guy. Give a quarterback
they're a
4
little-
or 5 seconds.
they're a little scary
Look at some
on
of the
left tackle right
quarterbacks,
now.
though, in the past few years that they were awful quarterbacks on their prior team. They go to a team that has great pass protection. You give them an extra second, and they look like almost Pro Bowl quarterbacks.
Ben Johnson did with Jared Goff.
Sam Darnold.
Sam
I mean,
Darnold
come
was
on.
insane last
Come
year.
on. And now he's got a massive contract and he goes to Seattle and they're not going to protect him. He's going to look awful.
He's gonna be-
right. He's going to be back to the Sam Darnold that doesn't have enough time. He's
But he
getting
got
sad.
paid.
Yeah, he got paid.
Without a doubt.
So, that to me, that's the NFL in a nutshell. If you can protect the quarterback, you can run a very good offense. And then it's a matter of 1 second.
The Bears
That's
are
what's
scary
crazy.
on left tackle right now
Scary.
with Braxton Jones being hurt.
Yep.
Karana Amagaji, he's did not have a good outing last year. So I wouldn't mind even if they didn't beef up, find a left tackle in the future, like
Yes.
at the draft. But I
feel like
think
we can walk
it's
away disappointed tonight.
No,
you can't.
no.
We're gonna
can't.
do well
agree.
tonight.
They are.
Because they have. We haven't had like the ability to look at the Bears and be like, this is kind of a complete team.
Yep.
No, they almost are. A couple missing pieces,
Agreed.
sure, but
no doubt.
It's a process. And I think
So
that
I was
could fit-
Genty. I want Genty. I think it might happen, but if it doesn't, I think I'm Tyler Warren.
I like
James,
that.
what's
I
your
like that.
play
I
tonight?
like that.
before today with all this news,
Yeah.
at 10, if they were to stick there, my whole thing was I would be disappointed if it wasn't Genty, Campbell, Mason Graham, or Warren. Now, not even that we're talking about this, I don't really care how they go because I trust what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're making good moves.
Yep.
They're bulking the offensive line through trades and free agency. Joe Tooney's, he's older, but the guy's like 32. The Bears
Yep.
had an all-pro left tackle, and
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
No doubt.
Exactly.
All right, so what's your prediction? Picks. Who are we drafting just tonight? I'm saying it's Genty.
I am
we can be
too.
Genty.
I'm going.
Genty, 3
let's
for
go.
3
3 for
Genty.
3 Genty.
And I think he's going to be. And I
Although he
think
can't wear my favorite numbers. DJ wears.
DJ's got it. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Awesome. All right. Well, hopefully it's Ash and Genty, and we are right. I think our last predictions on the Final Four, we did not win a game on our predictions. I think we lost every single game that we
No.
I'm
Did we?
pretty sure.
Let's not talk about that.
So hopefully we're
let's
I
go
had
ahead
the
and cut
Cougs
that.
over Duke.
You
I
did.
called it.
You did.
Yeah.
Boys.
All right. Well, hey, listen. Live from fucking Mexico. This
Let's
was
go.
awesome.
That was great.
Cancun Leaders Club Summit. You guys brought in some special guests, which was pretty cool. You brought on the host, which is even cooler.
Very good host.
And I think we should wrap with a nice deep shot. James, what's your final thoughts? man?
Let's toast to the viewers, the listeners, the audience. Salute to you guys. Like we said, we hit 250 downloads. We're over. We appreciate you guys and we love you guys. And thank you for all the feedback. Let's keep running those numbers up. If you can support us,
So important to us.
like, subscribe, hit
Ring
that,
the bell,
ring the
baby.
bell,
Ring
as
the
Mr.
bell,
Gabrione
baby.
says.
Let's
But
go.
seriously, we
And
love you
don't
guys.
forget
and
to
thank
host
you.
in the comments, baby. Come on. Let's
Salud,
go. Hey,
boys.
viva
Cheers,
la
boys.
Mexico.
Salud.